Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into Hedera Hashgraph HBAR. It gets talked about a lot, mostly price, market cap, but we want to look a bit deeper. Our mission today, cut through all that noise, go straight to the source, these white paper bits you gave us, and really figure out what Hedera is supposed to be. What was the original idea?
Exactly. That's what's great about looking at these foundational documents. You get past the day-to-day market stuff and see the blueprint, the vision. What did the creators actually promise?
Okay, let's do it. So, starting right at the definition.
Yeah.
How does Hedera define itself in this source material?
It uses some pretty specific language. It calls itself a decentralized public network.
Right. Decentralized public. Both those words feel, well, pretty loaded these days. What's the significance there?
It's huge. I mean, a centralized network, that's easy, relatively speaking. One boss, one set of rules. But decentralized and public, that's a promise of something way more open, but also harder to manage, right?
Yeah, and harder to secure, you'd think.
Well, that's the core challenge they claim to solve. The definition immediately goes on to promise a secure, trusted environment. That's the key.
Okay, hold on. Public, anyone can join. Decentralized, no single boss. But also secure and trusted. How do those fit together? Normally, trust needs, like a central bank or a company guaranteeing things.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, according to the paper, lies in the underlying tech, the Hashgraph consensus mechanism itself. What's fascinating here is the claim that trust isn't reliant on a middleman. It's baked into the structure. The way they reach agreement across the network is supposed to guarantee integrity. No single bad actor can mess things up, theoretically.
Okay, so public means open access, but decentralized with this specific mechanism means everyone has to agree on what's what, making it secure. The system itself is the guard.
Precisely. It's a structural guarantee. Without that, the whole thing falls apart. You couldn't build reliable apps for finance or gaming on a shaky foundation, so that definition. It sets incredibly high stakes right from the get-go.
Got it. So the foundation is meant to be rock solid. Decentralized, public, secure, trusted. But, lots of crypto projects promise a secure ledger.
Yeah.
What makes Hedera different, according to this? What's the utility built on top? This is where the language gets really interesting, I thought. The paper says Hedera is a place where anyone can carve out a piece of cyberspace.
Yeah, that phrase really jumps out.
It does. Carve out a piece. It doesn't sound like just logging into Facebook or something. It sounds more permanent, like you're claiming territory.
Exactly. It suggests a fundamental shift. You're not just a user renting a profile on someone else's server, subject to their rules, their whims. Carving out implies agency. Ownership, almost.
Like you're building your own spot online, defined by this secure foundation.
That's the idea. You become less of a consumer, maybe more of a builder or an owner in this digital space. It's a very ambitious vision. And they don't leave it vague. The paper gets specific about what you can do in this cyberspace you've carved out. It lays out three main functions.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack those. Because seeing them together really paints the picture. What's the first one?
First up is transact. Pretty straightforward.
Right, the money stuff. Buying, selling, setting HBAR, supply chains, maybe DeFi, the economic layer.
Yep, the economic engine. But then number two is play.
Play. Okay, so games, entertainment. That broadens things considerably. How does playing on Hedera differ from, say, playing a normal online game?
Well, think about ownership. In many games today, your items, your achievements, they exist only inside that company's database. If the game shuts down, poof.
But if play happens in this secure, decentralized space, your stuff, your digital sword or whatever, might actually be yours, permanently part of your carved-out cyberspace.
That's the implication. True digital ownership, where the asset's existence is guaranteed by the network consensus, not just one company's server. Interoperable, potentially. Persistent.
Okay, that's a big shift for gaming. And the third pillar?
The third one is socialize.
Socialize.
Yeah.
So community, communication, connecting with people.
Exactly. And think about the issues there today. Censorship, data privacy, who controls the narrative on big platforms.
Right. So building social apps on this kind of foundation.
Yeah.
The goal would be more resilient communities, maybe more user control over data and speech.
That's the promise. Extending that core, secure, trusted environment to how we connect and identify ourselves online.
Okay, when you put those three together, transact, play, socialize, that's basically everything we do online, isn't it?
Pretty much. Finance, entertainment, community, it covers almost the whole spectrum of digital life.
And the aha moment here, for you listening, is realizing the scope. They're not just proposing, a better Bitcoin or a faster Ethereum in the narrow sense. It sounds like they're aiming to be the underlying operating system, the trusted base layer for a whole new internet.
That's certainly how the ambition reads.
Wow. So I have to pause here because
It's
that's staggering. Are they really suggesting this one network can underpin global finance and massive gaming worlds and our social interactions, replacing or underpinning entire industries? Isn't that almost too big?
It is incredibly ambitious. And that brings us back to why that initial definition, secure, trusted environment, is so absolutely critical. They're basically arguing that our current digital world is fragmented, insecure, untrustworthy, siloed. And the only way to really support that massive triad, transact, play, socialize together reliably, is on a single, unified, trusted layer. If the foundation holds, they believe, a whole new digital economy can be built.
I see. So the question shifts from just, is the tech fast, to, is this foundation strong and trustworthy enough to actually hold the weight of all that human activity?
Exactly. It's about trust and scope, not just speed.
Okay, so we've explored the vision, the big ideas from the white paper. But like you said, this isn't just theory. Hedera is live, it's operating. We need to connect this vision to the real world.
Absolutely. And the source material actually helps us do that. Even with just a couple of data points, it grounds the concept. It mentions, for instance, that at the time of the source, the HBAR price was 0.0622.
Well, 0.06222, okay.
Yep.
And it also gave a recent change percentage, didn't it?
Yes, a change of 1.12%.
So why are these numbers important next to the grand vision?
Well, they immediately confirm a few things. One, the transact pillar isn't theoretical. There's real financial value and asset being traded and used on this network.
Right, it's got a market presence.
And two, it highlights a potential tension. This network, designed to be the stable, secure foundation for potentially your entire digital life. It's underpinned by an asset, HBAR, that has a price, and that price moves. It's volatile, like other crypto assets.
That's a really crucial point. If this is the bedrock for my permanent digital identity, my game items, my social connections, but the value of the network's own token can fluctuate by over 1%, maybe more, in a short time, does that create instability?
It raises that exact question, doesn't it? How does the promise of foundational permanence and trust square with the reality of market volatility? The white paper promises structural security for your transactions and data, but the financial metrics remind you the whole ecosystem exists within a dynamic, often unpredictable market.
So the success, or maybe the perceived stability, of this foundational layer is tied to how the market values it.
In part, yes. These numbers anchor the big dream in the sometimes messy reality of economics. They force you, the listener, to consider, can that deep structural security coexist with market risk? The creators seem to be betting that it can.
That definitely adds another layer to think about. It's not just tech risk, but economic risk potentially impacting that foundational trust.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together. Based on what we've seen in the sources, Hedera's identity seems to rest on two main pillars. Pillar A.
Pillar A is the structure itself. It's defined as decentralized and public, but the key is the promise of being secure and trusted based on its unique consensus mechanism. That's its differentiation from older systems.
Okay, and Pillar B.
Pillar B is the sheer breadth of its utility. It's explicitly designed for transacting, playing, and socializing, aiming to cover really the whole spectrum of digital interaction.
So connecting those, the big takeaway for you listening has to be the scale of the ambition.
Right.
Absolutely. It's breathtaking, really. Hedera isn't presented here as just another blockchain project. It's positioned as potentially the foundational layer for a huge swath of our future online lives, a unified, trusted digital world built on one platform.
A unified world. That's the core idea. Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on after this. If Hedera, or something like it, succeeds in enabling all this transacting, playing, socializing under this single, secure, trusted umbrella, what are the implications of having so much of our digital lives potentially reliant on one foundational system, even a decentralized one? What does owning that piece of cyberspace truly mean in that context? Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Hedera Hashgraph's foundational ideas. We hope it gave you a clearer picture and maybe some interesting questions to explore further.